Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back with part 2 of our Alaska versus Stalingrad. Which is better? Which do I prefer? Well, you guys already know which one I prefer. It's the Alaska. But we're going to showcase exactly why I prefer the Alaska in this match. Now, I said in yesterday's video in the Stalingrad, I like both of these ships. I just like the Alaska a little bit more, and it's not because it's American. It's because it gets away with stuff that the Stalingrad simply can't. Right? Both of them are fully capable of sending anybody to the Shadow Realm at any given moment. I love super cruisers, battle cruisers, large cruisers, all of them. You guys know the deal. I like big guns that go kaboom.
I need your support.
And make others go kaboom. But right off the bat, I'm going to show a couple of key things that a lot of people need to think about. First of all, there are 3 destroyers in this lobby. We have one on each spawn. But our destroyer decides to double dip on the Bravo spawn. Nothing I can do about that. As for his support, he decides he's going to go in there anyway. Now, to his credit, he is actually going to go into the front of the cap, and I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't really care for the way he does it. And the simple reason is because more often than not, that particular move where you go into the middle of the map, on this map in particular, at the beginning of the match, almost always ends poorly. Because everybody expects it, right? Now, he does a good job sticking to the alpha cap and getting into the cap. But look, immediately, Z-52's there. Now, obviously, we have a cruiser that decided to go full crazy mode up in here. And look, gearing is there too. So you have a Z-52 with long-range sonar. And you have a gearing, prolific gunboat. But we also have a radar destroyer. And the Kleber, to his credit, also has a reload booster for his guns. So it is a surprisingly even fight, except we have a cruiser there to also provide support. And I say surprisingly even fight. It's really not that even because they lost one of their destroyers, and the other destroyer took all of his health and damage and pretty much got himself killed, but he's still alive. Our destroyer ends up taking torpedo because, again, sitting still in your last known position, you gotta understand the torpedoes are on the way, right? You're in a Kitsanis, you shouldn't be sitting there. And Schroeder ends up taking him down. So again, we see 3 destroyers, 4 of which go into the same location. Essentially, 2 of them are dead, 1 on each team. Now, we get a good look at the broadside of a Schroeder here, and this is why I try to point out, like, pay attention to what's going on. When you're looking at the mini-map, pay attention to where people are. We know that there's an enemy division of Yamatos on the enemy team. And we know that they usually spawn middle. And so, guess who the 2 battleships that are sitting on the minimap right there next to the main island in the middle likely are? Yamatos, right? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So we play accordingly. We don't want to fight the Yamatos right away. We want to help get rid of the enemy cruisers. Now, unfortunately, before we get loaded, the cruiser goes dark, but we take a blind fire. It's an educated guess. And now we are going to try to position ourselves in a position to where we can actually push our flank. Now, pay attention to the 2 battleships specifically. One of them probably had a shot. The other one is behind the island. But that neither of them are particularly interested in moving. And this is going to be very evident as the match develops. But I have a destroyer who's willing to spot for me. And we do know it's the 2 Yamatos. Again, shocker. Nobody was fooled, right? We knew this was going to happen. But this is the part where Alaska and Stalingrad have an advantage over these battleships. Yamato, specifically, is very susceptible to getting citadeled by super cruisers. And the fast fire rate of the super cruisers, reloading in 16 seconds, or for the Stalingrad, slightly longer, gives them the advantage in sending a Yamato to the Shadow Realm if you catch it broadside. So we have maneuvered to put ourselves in a position to take advantage of the fact that this Yamato is turning away so that we can try to catch him broadside. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This Yamato is going to get incredible incredibly lucky. I have never seen a Yamato get away with the amount of bull that this man's about to get away with. And we're going to demonstrate that a little bit later too. But this guy's going to get extremely lucky. Now, look at that RNG. Now, fortunately, he doesn't do a lot of damage that first shot. I'm assuming that me getting in reverse just in time, some of those shells maybe hit the water, didn't do as much damage. Because he is fully capable of hitting us for 30k straight through the bow, potentially. Remember, Yamato overmatch is 32. So despite me having 32 mils of armor, it doesn't matter, as The Rock would say. But we go for the superstructure while he's bowing. Some would say you should probably switch to HE here, and you might not necessarily be wrong, but I was anticipating this guy going broadside again. And you can see, I am positioning to take advantage of his broadside. And at this range, this shot, 9 times out of 10, will be a kill shot. The guy does not have that many hit points. I have hit Yamatos for 70k with an Alaska's front 2 guns alone. The fact that this man is still alive is a god-darn tragedy. So then I'm like, okay, maybe we just got unlucky. And you can see right there as we went to shoot for the cheek shot, I ended up bumping the controller up just a hair. And that's on me. When I went for the shot, I aimed too high that time. But, to my fairness, I was trying to do everything at the same time. Again, I am a cruiser battle-tanking Yamato. Meanwhile, my battleships are still in the back. But look at the Yamato! Again! He is begging to die here! And all of our shells hit the water. 2 of them ricochet, or shatter, and 1 of them citadel. You can't make it up, folks. I have never seen a Yamato get away with this. This is a level of disrespect and luck that I have just simply never seen before. He doesn't even shoot me. And then we finally get the shot to finish him off. It's just like, that man should have never have lived that long. He should have never have lived that long. Now, fortunately, I wasn't the only one with bad luck. He wasn't getting very lucky either. A lot of his shells just didn't do as much damage as his partner just demonstrates what is fully capable of a Yama doing to a supercruiser that is made out of 32 mils of armor. Again, doesn't matter where he hits me, he gonna pin, right? 32 millimeters everywhere. Now, it may have a little bit of a belt. I don't remember. I don't think it does, though. I think it is 32 mils everywhere on the Alaska. Meaning, anywhere that a Yamato hits you is gonna pin. So it doesn't really matter to angle in this other than just making your ship bigger of a target. Now there, we get a much better accuracy roll. And then Michelangelo decides to play who wants to hide the citadel. And yeah, he's not going to get away with it. That is what generally happens when you put your broadside to a supercruiser. And the Yamato just got incredibly lucky. But we did our job. We have held this flank. And look at the battleships still. The battleships are still back there. Like, what are they doing? But it doesn't matter because we're going to push up. And the enemy Yamato is angling towards us, so we go ahead and aim high here. Torpedoes were never a threat to us. We get a good chunk on him. And as he is bow tanking, I'm assuming he's getting shot. Yeah, you can see some of the shells coming from the battleships through the little gap there. But as he turns to look away from us, we're going to get one shot here. And I thought this was going to be the Citadel shot, but apparently he was angled enough. That is something that the Stalingrad wouldn't have gotten away with. That shot right there would have killed a Stalingrad. 100%, guaranteed. But the Alaska gets away with it. It doesn't really have a Citadel. It does, but just not easy to hit. And there you can see, that's what I was expecting when I'm shooting at the broadside. And of course, we hit towards the back of the armor belt, towards the rear cheek of the Yamato. But again, just showcasing the power of these ships. Whether you've got the Stalingrad, or the Alaska, or any other supercruiser for that matter, battleships, cruisers, they will underestimate you. Because at the end of the day, you're just a cruiser. How bad can it be? They forget that you have battleship guns. And man, do they slap. So, I don't think anybody would look at an Alaska or a Stalingrad and go, yeah, it's not really for me. If you like battleships or you like cruisers, you're probably going to enjoy both Alaska and Stalingrad. But for me, the get out of jail free card that the Alaska seems to have allows it to be a lot more aggressive than a Stalingrad. And allows it to be in a lot better positions more often than not than the Stalingrad. Because of that get out of jail free card where you just get away with doing things that you can't do in a lot of other ships. So that is why I prefer the Alaska. But if you get either, you're going to be just happy. Like, they're both fantastic ships, and no, they don't need nerfed, and no, they don't need buffed. They're perfectly fine as is. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Have you enjoyed the series? Do you have an idea for another comparison series? Do you have two ships that you think are incredibly similar, and which one do I prefer versus the other? Leave it down in the comments. I'll check it out, and who knows, maybe it'll become a new video. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.